It is best that you should know about sunburn, what are the ways to protect your child and how to prevent it, and how to use sunscreens. This is because everyone is at risk for sun damage, even those with darker skin color. And do you know that most of the sun damage happens during childhood? Sunburn would leave a red, painful burn on your child's skin, but in severe cases, it can cause blistering, fever, chills, and headache. So it is best that you know how to prevent it and how to protect your child. Also, take note that the years of buildup of sun damage can cause wrinkling, freckling, and even skin cancer. Hey, I'm Dr. Kristine Alba Kiat. I'm a board-certified pediatrician, and my mission is to help moms and dads deal with child health problems to raise happy and healthy kids. In this video, we will talk about sunburn, what are the signs of sunburn, first aid for sunburn, what are the ways to prevent it, and how to use sunscreens. Sunburn. What is a sunburn? It is a red, painful reaction of the skin caused by UV light exposure. The outer layer of the skin is affected, and this is known as a first-degree burn. UV exposure comes from sunlight exposure and artificial light as well, like tanning beds. UV rays can cause invisible damage to the skin, and excessive exposure can lead to wrinkling and premature aging as well, and later on, possibly skin cancer. Kids spend a lot of time outdoors, especially during summer, and they are therefore most at risk. Kids who are most at risk for skin cancer are those with fair skin, moles, and freckles, those who have had multiple blistering sunburn, those with a family history of skin cancer, those who are constantly exposed to the sunlight every day, and overexposure as well before 18 years of age. And note that most of the sun damage happens during summer when the sun is overhead at 10 in the morning up to 2 p.m. How to recognize sunburn? The signs and symptoms of sunburn include redness of the skin with swelling, pain, and blistering. And after 3 days to a week, you can note dry skin with itching and peeling. In more severe cases, it can be accompanied by fever, nausea, chills, and weakness or confusion. Now, what can you do when your child gets a sunburn? The goal is to make your kiddo comfortable. You can give him or her a cool bath or cool compress, and give pain medications like acetaminophen or paracetamol or ibuprofen for pain relief or for fever. You can apply topical moisturizer or aloe gel or hydrocortisone cream on sunburned skin. If blisters are present, do not break them because it can lead to an infection. At this time, while your child has a sunburn, avoid sun exposure and give your child plenty of fluids to keep him or her hydrated, and of course to prevent dehydration. Try to avoid aggravating the sunburn, so avoid hot baths, and again, avoid sun exposure while your child has a sunburn because it can lead to more harm. When should you worry and call the doctor? Well, specific treatment for sunburn would depend on how severe the sunburn is, and it would be best assessed by your doctor. Generally, you should worry and let your doctor know if the sunburn is severe or there are blisters present. You should also worry and let your doctor know if your child has signs and symptoms of heat stress when the sunburn is accompanied by fever, chills, nausea, vomiting, dehydration, like your child has dry mouth, sunken eyes and decreased urine output, and you should also worry if your child is feeling faint. What are the ways to prevent sunburn? And do you want to know about sunscreens and how to use them? But before we go to that, are you expecting a baby? Or you already have a newborn baby? Congrats, mom and dad! How much better life can be when things are under your control upon baby's arrival? When you feel confident and know how to breastfeed your baby? Know the signs and symptoms to worry about in a newborn? Know how to soothe a crying, fussy baby? Know about baby sleep schedule? And know how to take care of yourself or when to worry about postpartum depression? How much better life can be when you can get this training in the comfort of your home. I've developed an online training video series known as the 5 Newborn Care Strategies. Do check that out in the description section. Your child needs to be protected from sun damage from birth and all throughout your child's life. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that for infants, only small areas of sunscreen can be applied, like the face, when protective clothing is not available. It is best that you keep your baby 6 months and below out of direct sunlight exposure. For kids who are 6 months and older, we can do the ABCs. And these are A. Stay away from the sun from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is because it is the most damaging to your child's skin. B. Block the sun exposure by using sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher. Apply sunscreen 30 minutes before sun exposure and continuously reapply during the day. Choose a sunscreen that has broad protection from UVA and UVB. And lastly, cover up. Use long sleeves, hat, and sunglasses. What are sunscreens or sunblock? Basically, these products protect against sunlight. They block the penetration of UV radiation. The amount of protection a product provides would depend on the SPF or the sun protection factor, and there are several numbers: SPF 15, SPF 30, or higher. And the terms can be confusing as well, but basically, sunscreens are products that contain chemicals that filter and absorb sunlight, while sunblock are products that physically block sunlight, and these products are those that contain zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. A product with an SPF 15, for example, blocks 93% of UVB. It is important that you use the sunscreen correctly to protect your child from getting a sunburn. How to make sure? Well, first, pick a sunscreen that is made for kids. You can also test it first on your child's wrist to make sure that there is no reaction. Carefully put the sunscreen on the face, avoiding your child's eye. Also, use a broad spectrum sunscreen, the one that protects against UVA and UVB. If it's the most expensive sunscreen, doesn't always mean that it is the best. Also, cover your child with sunscreen on all the exposed areas. Don't forget other areas easily forgotten, like the ears or the skin behind the neck or the top of the feet. Use sunscreen on all kids 6 months and older. Even dark-skinned kids can get painful sunburn, so use them on everybody. Also, apply sunscreen 30 minutes before sun exposure. This gives it time for the product to work. And when you apply thickly on your child's skin and reapply it every 2 hours. Sunscreen is not just used when you and your kids are at the beach. You should use them when your kids are outdoors. Also, pick a sunscreen that is waterproof or water resistant. The American Academy of Dermatology recommends using sunscreen which are SPF 30 or higher, and the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends using at least an SPF 15 sunscreen up to SPF 50. For babies 6 months and younger, it is best that you do not expose them to direct sunlight. Hey, if you like this video, watch my next video where I teach you about other child health problems.